Hi, I'm Cinnamon Cooney. I'm your art Sherpa, and I want to show you how you can make this mommy and baby giraffe from the materials inside your Crayola box. So get your crayons and come back and meet me at the pad right now. Let's get started. Let's take a look at today's really fun art materials we're going to get to use. I have an 11 by 14 sketch pad by Strathmore. This is 50-pound paper. This is just basic drawing paper. Over here, I have the Mega Art Inspiration Set by Crayola. This is what I get for my own kids. I love this. I'm going to tell you right now, the most important tool in this entire box to do awesome, great art. It's you. You knew I was going there, right? You're the most important part of this whole art process. It's not any tool in here. This is just fun stuff to get all those amazing ideas out of your head onto the paper. All right, let's look at what we've got here. I've got to start sketching in my mother and baby giraffe. And so I'm going to come here and I'm going to pick this very neutral pencil, right? I've got all these different materials. I'm going to pick this. This is the G5B pencil. Basically, guys, it's brown. And I'm going to use this to sketch in my design. So when I'm drawing giraffes, right, I'm always thinking about the shape of them. And so I'm going to make sure that I think about the shape of a grown-up giraffe, right? And a grown-up giraffe, they have a very, very long nose, don't they? Not just a long neck, but a nice long nose. And I really like their noses because right at the tip it goes real long. And then there's this giant purple tongue that comes way, way out. But we're not going to draw the tongue today. We're not going to worry about that tongue. We're just going to pull this little chin here underneath jawbone. Come up like this. All right. And we're going to have so much fun when we put the neck in. But these little guys at the top are going to be really fun for us. We're going to do something fun there. Come back the neck. Do a bump. Now here's a fun bit. Sometimes when ears are at funny angles, it's hard to think about how to draw them. So think of leaves. There's a leaf, right? And just give that leaf a join. Like that. It's not that hard, but sometimes it can be hard for our minds when we're artists. I really think it's important to know that it's not the art materials that make the artist. It's the imagination inside the person. So that's why I'm excited about this crayon challenge. Now, I'm like trees. My neck is going to get thicker. You know, as it goes down. It's a very long neck. We definitely want a long neck. So I've got a lot happening there. Now I've got to draw a little baby looking up at this wonderful mom that we've got here, right? So let's do the baby. And let's say that right here, they're sort of touching. Because they just met each other for the first time. That was pretty exciting. It's wonderful to see a baby meet a mom for the first time because everybody just loves everybody so much. So we're going to do a similar face, but it's going to be a little bit smaller. But still long and beautiful and fun, right? Right here. And then also we're going to have those little bumps, right? And let's put out another little leaf ear. So this is how they're getting to meet each other for the first time. Okay. And I want to do my little eye shape right here. And I'm also going to do a nice little eye shape. So I do kind of like a little smile. And I curve that down. So once I have the basic idea of where I want everybody and how I want them to be, and I'm pretty sure, I definitely want the little fuzzies here. And I've sketched in, and you notice I'm not erasing or any of that, right? So here's the trick. Let's put in a little sliver of a nose. It's like a little ellipse right there. And let's put another ellipse. It's like a little curve and slips down. All right, now we can get in here with our crayons and start really enjoying coloring this in. So let's find some crayon colors we think might work really nice in there. So I think this is sort of an interesting kind of giraffe color. It's sort of a little beige, and I think I'm going to enjoy using this over here. What color is this? This color is tumbleweed, or amaranto, or amarante. So now we know some things about the word tumbleweed. And I'm going to kind of try to think about some giraffe shapes. Isn't that nice? I'm going to make one there, and then I think there should be a nice little spot here. Maybe there should be one tucking out from behind the ear. As they get down the neck, they're going to get bigger and more thought about. This is how they break up their little patterns. One of the things I want you to think about when you're thinking about crayons, because sometimes people think of crayons as that's just a kid's material, but this is really basically pigment in wax, which is used in fine art called encaustics. So you're using something like a crayon doesn't mean you're not making really serious art. See, as I'm going down and making these little patterns bigger, I'm sort of fitting them together. And I think that I'll make some of these little spots around the face so I know where they are. I'm going to just do that. With crayons, I'm going to definitely be trying to layer them. And I'm thinking about my patterns, what I'm trying to say about this giraffe. I've also got markers and pencils and lots of things in my set. So there's a lot that I can think about. You know, when I'm thinking about how to do this, you know, so I can just be like having a lot of fun. So I'm going to start just lightly coloring some of this in. When I'm coloring with crayons, how I get a nice color, my kids ask me this all the time, how do you get a nice color? Is I use a very light pressure in a very small back and forth stroke. If I wanted this to be real subtle, I might not have even outlined my spots, but I'm gonna use this is the sort of cream part of the coat so that they're a little warm. I don't want them to just be white. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to color this all in with this. See how I'm doing these soft, even spaces? It doesn't really matter what you're doing. Kind of everything is like everything else sometimes. So just like when I'm painting and I'm trying to layer things or use my pressure of my hand, you know, or my brush or this crayon even, I'm thinking about this pretty seriously. I think you're going to be surprised at what a beautiful drawing you can do with this inspiration case. So I'm just going here, and I am wanting to do big things. You can sharpen crayons, you can melt crayons. If you heat your crayon, it will release more wax, right? If you're in a really cold area, one of the things that you can do is warm a towel for a little bit in a dryer and wrap it around your crayons, and they'll color a little bit easier because when it's cold, it can make the wax not want to come off. Don't like set fire to them because, you know, like a candle. But you can warm them a little bit. Turn the heater up. This is true about a lot of materials that use wax or clay as a way to... So already we've got some little giraffe moments happening here. And our baby giraffe down here needs some moments too. So we're going to bring our nice dark coloring up the nose because they have dark coloring at the front of the nose. And let's give you some spots. So I like to make weird shapes in different sizes because the reason giraffes have spots in the first place is so that they can hide from predators, right? So you want to make sure that when you're talking about these, that you're including that experience in your drawing because it'll make it more believable and more fun. We just totally do this whole thing in with Crayolas. Just something different to do. You can challenge yourself in art. You don't have to take it all. Take what's happening inside you seriously. Take your imagination seriously. Trust that. Believe in that. Put a lot of weight in that. But don't take art too seriously. That'll take all the joy out of it. Just keep coloring. Soft, 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 soft. Soft, soft, soft. You can do this. I'm going to make sure that I kind of maybe talk about the inside of the ear here a little bit by talking about the outside of the ear. See, already we've got some pretty cute giraffeness happening. We're going to do some crazy things. You're going to be like, wait, what? No way. And I'm going to be like, yeah, way. Just enjoying these two together. I'm going to find another tool. So I'm going to put back neatly my tumbleweed in where I found it. And I'm going to think about another color that I might like. So right next to it, we have tan and raw sienna. Whoa. Wait, what is this one? Brown? Now I have to know. Don't you have to know? Sepia. All right. The one called sienna, that's what's coming with me. Raw sienna. It's not burnt. It's raw. So I'm going to come right under this jaw with my raw sienna. And I'm going to start putting in some shape and shadow. Right? Thinking about it. Maybe some... See, if I press harder, it puts more pigment on, doesn't it? Makes it seem more finished. I'm going to lightly color the spot. And I'm going to color some of it maybe a little bit heavier. Can have some fun coloring this in. It'd be like a spot here, but it doesn't have an outline. It's just kind of into the background. And I don't worry about this because I'm going to layer all this. Let's color this in. It's first layer of darker. Maybe a little bit right here. I can't help it. Fluffs are important to me, so I'm going to always sort of exaggerate anything that could be fluffy. That's happening. There's no one anywhere that could ever make me not want to fluff a fluff. I'm just going to pull that. And I'm going to just work in these spots. Just have fun with this. We're going to be layering these crayons. You are going to be so shocked how something like this is built. And it's going to make you so happy because you're going to be like, I can do that. I can do real art with crayons. I don't have a budget. Maybe I don't have like a lot I can do right now, but I can do this. And I'm going to start to shade inside of what's happening here. I really like it. It's fun. Okay, just pulling this down. Saying, nope, nope, you're going to be a spot. Have fun with that. Maybe do a spot here. It's going to be about the layering. There's going to be some great layering. And this is just a little bit different in color, isn't it, than the one that's next to it. And sometimes when you're coloring, you'll be like feeling like frustrated with that, like feeling like, oh, that's the same, but actually it's subtly different. And it's going to make a huge value. I'm going to just enjoy putting all these in. All these in. I get these sets about twice a year from my kids. I like them. Just enjoying putting that in. I think we need some though, don't you? Think so? Let's put some in around the nose. Some of this color around the nose. See how nicely? What I love about this is the pigment quality is decent and the wax is quality and it comes off soft. I'm blessed enough to get to work with a lot of materials, and some of my materials are very high-end, and I can actually say that there are a lot of things that I genuinely like about a Crayola crayon and a Crayola pencil. My kids tease me about it a lot, but I'm like, Crayolas are good. There's some other stuff not as good, but these are totally good. So we're going to come up here. There's many layers we're going to be darkening right here. Let's talk a little bit about the fluffs. Don't ever skip over something as enjoyable as a fluff in a drawing. Shade the inside. I love doing it. So I'm just wondering, like, do you have beliefs about art materials where you think it's got to be expensive? I have a set of pastels that are quite a lot of money and have a lot of companies I love their product. You know, and they're hard to make. So the cost might be higher, but there's a joy in a crayon. You can get them all over the world. And the idea that you couldn't make fine art with just anything is crazy. Because of course you can. Look at this, we're going, we're having so much fun. Let's put some of this color into this nose. I'm just going to keep layering and layering, and you're going to be like, what? That's crazy. And I'm going to be like, I know. I forgot to put some down here. And if I'm going to layer, I need to give it a base. Sometimes I get a little crazy at the edge of my paper and I forget. I can turn it over. And it's important to remember things like move your paper, not your body. You find your good position, find your happy place. And don't ever feel because somebody just gave you crayons that you can't do it, because you can do it. Put this back, and I'm going to find another color that I like, that I want to layer into this. And I was eyeing this earlier. That was really good. I'm also really loving this. So I'm going to pull both of these over. So this reddish one is called Bittersweet. Agridulce and Dulce Amere, I think is what they're saying this is. I'm not great at that. Brown, Cafe, or Brun. I love that this is in different languages. It lets you know that we around the world, we like a crayon. That's important information, I think. I'm going to start with my red. And I'm going to really kind of enjoy putting this in some places here. Maybe like right here under the nose. And I'm going to just lightly blend here. Look at this great color. The pigment on this color is like amazing. What a good color. Oh, it just comes right off the crayon. You just don't even know. Because you probably haven't thought about crayons in a while in that way. I think about crayons a lot. And look at how you can layer a color with a crayon. So I put the color underneath it, but I'm coming with this next color. And it still does that, right? So now I can create that feeling in the spots. And this is important stuff, that feeling in the spots that is multitonal and makes it feel like wild things. Add some of this right there. Okay, I'm getting a little exaggerated, but that's the prerogative of art, isn't it? To be a little exaggerated. To talk about things in that kind of a way. I'm just going to add this color where I think it's going to add some value to the piece. And some joy and excitement. Not everywhere, but just bits of it here and there. Building up. Maybe some right there. Look at that depth. You're just like, I had no idea crayons were going to be this deep. Yeah, it's like that. See if we've got any spots here. Because if this baby belongs to that mommy, they're going to have some of the same depth, right? Just little kisses of color. Pressure's light. Where I need to put it down more, I can always press down and get a great dispersal of any color. So I'm going to put this carefully back. Where did it go? It went right here. I can tell because these are all warm. And I'm going to look at this just brown. It's a pretty great color right here. I'm going to start putting in my just brown. Press hard up here, really kind of lay that wax down and enjoy that. Who knows if this was a good idea? Challenge yourself with crayons. What was I thinking? I was like, crayons are good art materials. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm going to make sure I have a little shadow here. This one, and I'm putting in a little shadow here. Can start thinking about what's happening at my eye. And down the nose. And down the nose. Just enjoying. Just enjoying everything. And just really deep right there. Look at that. And then maybe there can be just a deep spot here because there's a spot. Just pressing where we need to press. There's some darkness right there, so we're going to just lay into that crayon. See how we're just doing crayons, but we're still making art. Right? I'm going to layer a little of this value into the shadow there. I'm going to say, oh, there's a light shadow right here too. Little shape, little thought, consideration. Because crayons layer. It's not hard. It's also super relaxing. That's why kids do it. Let's bring some deep colors back here on these spots because they'd have them, right? Then we can sit there and say, all right, this would be quite dark, getting darker. And a light shadow right here. See how I'm layering that and just creating that soft value? And you can easily soften your crayons just by how you're coloring. Be a crayon artist when I grow up. That's a thing to be. That is a thing to be. Here we go. Still coloring. Still enjoying that. Now let's come here and start talking about some of this darkness. The darkness in the browns. Maybe pulling some shadow there. Just rounding it. See that soft stroke and just go back and forth. This doesn't take away from the color that I had going on already. I'll make a little shadow here down the center. And I can sit there and say, oh, this ear would be darker on the inside, though, for sure. Now we can even darken this right here. Now I want to get some more colors of these crayons. I'm going to get something maybe a little more dramatic. There's a black here. That's pretty dramatic. And I feel like I wish there was something that was like feeling like a yellow ochre. All right, this is an interesting color. Banana Bonanza. That is a hard thing to read. Let's put some Banana Bonanza in. I'm going to add at the front of this giraffe a little bit of this bright light. The mommy, little bit of bright light. I'm going to come right here behind the chin and add a little bit of this maybe bright light happening here in the front. See how I can just really drop this pigment down? It is special. It's special how I can do that, in my opinion. Here at the top. And at the front of both of these. Just a little something that just says, oh, wow, that's right there. That's a little something. Layer. Now I feel like there's a glow that's happening. Right under his little chin, I'm going to add that. Maybe just layer a little bit of that glow up him. I haven't even gotten into the markers or a lot of the other fun tools that I could totally, we'll kiss at the lips. Sometimes we're sun-kissed, right? But there, and right there. So I'm having some fun with that. Let's get some dark values into this. I'm going to put this back where I found it, and I'm going to get my black. I'm going to get my black. And I'm going to just create some value there. Just using that to enjoy that. I'm going to get right in this ear. First, I'm going to be soft with the black and let it layer and blend into this space. And then I'm going to get deep. All right, look at that. And I'm seeing some of this sort of black in the giraffe too, which is why I was attracted to this, because they have it, you know, and I want to have that in there. If they have that, I want to make sure that I'm showing that. The trick with the black, because it's a powerful pigment, is to use a very, very soft hand. I'm going to take this and I'm going to really show the shadowing that's right here. And it's going to start giving his nose like some real definition. Right, maybe some right here. And then also I can be like right there with the shadow. Look at how that's starting to happen. And there can be a little bit around the eye, right? Coming out on the tear duct. Shadow here. I'm just layering crayons. Have you ever thought about layering crayons in this way? In the way that we might think about art materials. Put a nice shadow back there. Just now, I'm going to come down and work this a little bit. Aren't we having a good time? I feel this would definitely layer. Shadow here. We help the nose pop. Stand out. Darken that up. Maybe a little bit back here, behind the eye. Just enjoy putting these values in. And see how things layer to each other. And that's wonderful too. How they create this space. I'm going to definitely put some shadow in this wonderful ear we worked out. Hopefully you're feeling better about ears just in general. I'm just shading that bit right there. Just going. Crayons are a lot of fun. Put some of this dark value in some of these spots. And the other place, you know, you can have this is you can start that little bit of the giraffe there, right? And then we can have this down the back here. And I haven't even gotten to the pens. I haven't. Which to me, I'm like, well, what happened when I add that? Done crayons. But this is an inspiration case. I think I should get inspired, right? So I'm put that shadow there. And it just creates a form, doesn't it? These things tell us about what we're seeing. Just a very, very light shadow back here. All right, let's see what's happening in our pens. All right, I'm going to put the black crayon back. I have these pip squeaks, and then I have these details, but the black is only in the pip squeaks. Small size, big color. It's washable. So what that means is if you want this to last a long time, you're going to have to take a digital photograph, and if you're going to frame it, you're going to have to put it behind special glass. Special glass that keeps the light off of it. So here's what I'm going to say. Actually, I'm going to do something tricky here. I'm going to actually get this gray, and I'm going to make a very light color. This is just the gray pencil. Just there, and I'm going to put a little bit back here. I don't want a lot, but I need a little. And I'm going to have to make sure that I leave little bits of light reflected. It's a little harder, but you can do it. See, I'm doing it along the lid of the eye. I just left a little bit I didn't color. Now you can take this and add that there. And here's a cool thing that you can do if you have a black pencil, which I do. You can kind of fade the black pen from the black paint into the gray shadow, creating this really nice deep eyeshadow that's happening there. And I can pull these really special little lashes right off. Fun stuff. I'm going to come right in the ear, right over my crayon. I'm not going to avoid that. I'm going to come right in my nose. Also not going to avoid that. I might even go over the top of this with my black pen. Does some neat things, doesn't it? Some things you didn't think it might do. Making some nice artful lines here. Having some fun with this. Look at how pretty this is. These little pen lines. Do you tend to stay in one area of your art box? You have to wonder. Have you been staying in one area too long? Just add some of this. Right? Just enjoy maybe getting out of that part of your art box. Let's see what we can do for him down here. Or her. Don't know yet. Now I'm going to get my pencil. And that's going to create some nice shading, doesn't that, around the eye? Isn't that beautiful? Mixing up those materials really, really helps me. I'll often hold things in a couple spaces in my hands. But I'm not going to not enjoy, what I get to do. Right in here, in the ear. All right. I'm going to come back into this fur, this little mane. Just making these little thoughtful spaces where I'm talking about what it is to be a giraffe. Let's maybe add some of this to the mane. Light brush strokes, right? Just coming back. I think there's a little more we can do. Just a little more. I'm going to put this back here and these both back here. And I think that I'm going to try, I really like this color, which is kind of a reddish brown. I'm going to add it to some of my little spots, mixing up these textures that I've created in my canvas. It's going to help, I think, really, really make this special. I can even come up here into this and add some fun. All right, blending, blending, blending. Nice, it creates some real drama. And I like the color. And where there isn't a resist with the crayon, it lets me do some pretty cool stuff. Add some right here. I'm making sure one of the things you don't want to do is smash your markers or dash in too much. All right, last thing. I think we need to get some just brown, 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 brown. Like right at the, just a little bit. It's just a feeling I have, just like, come here on the ear. Maybe even up here above the lid. Isn't that nice? You just didn't even know it could be this cool. It's same thing as anything else with art. The longer you can spend with the piece and feel it, think about it, and think, how can I put more into this? I think we're getting there, guys. I think it was really exciting. I really like this. What do you think? Can you believe we did that with the Crayola inspiration box? Actually, I really can. I've messed around with these all the time. Let's put our materials away. So I hope this made you think about the art materials you have at home in a slightly different way and maybe take them a little more seriously while not taking yourself so seriously. I want you to be good to yourselves and be good to each other. Keep arting, and I want to see you at the drawing pad, easel, wherever, just somewhere creative really soon. Okay, bye-bye.